Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do the ideal romantic partner reading for EXO's member Sehun. This was requested a long time ago, so I'm going to do his. Let's talk a bit about his energy. He is an Aries with a moon in Taurus, which is an interesting mix of energies because you know that we always associate Aries people with that they are very energetic, that they are very like opinionated, they are very straightforward, their energy, the like everything about them is all about force, it's all about action. So I think that it's interesting sometimes when I do not know much about EXO's members. Actually, I know about their music, I watched their MVs, but for example in the case of Sehun, I didn't get the chance to consume like other contents, like interviews or other kinds of um, videos where I can see how he manages himself, what his body language or posture is. So I don't know much about him, but I think that from the few moments that I observe him, I can definitely see that he looks like a very calm person. Actually, I think that his moon is taking over his whole persona. I do not know his rising. Nevertheless, we have to take into consideration the whole birth chart. I do not have it, so I'm just giving like a brief perception of what I can see. I see him like really calm, like probably his moon in Taurus has like a lot of protagonism in his life, especially because it's really hard to actually tone down Aries energy, like, and to put it like almost in second place. I know that probably he does show these Martian Aries attributes when he is working or when he is on stage. He can show his true passion in there, but I think that if you see him like behind the scenes or probably like in a comfortable environment, he probably is a very chill guy. So this, I think that it has to do with that moon in Taurus, which amazes me. um, I think that I think one of my cousins that actually I grew up with her, and she had this same placement in a sense that she is an Aries with the moon in Taurus. And I remember when we were kids that she was very hyperactive. She was always jumping around. She was climbing trees. She was very energetic. And then after she became an adult, or after she reached puberty, and actually after she became a teenager and then like an adult, she became like really calm person. It's like if you see her, you are not able to see any Aries traits. Actually, she's really calm. She's like a home person. She has it's like she doesn't get angry that often. She does, of course, but not that often. She's very nice. Her tone of speaking to people is really sweet. So I was like, oh, remember the old days when you used to climb on trees and being a bit of a tomboy. It's amazing how the energy shifts. So I'm probably for Sehun, probably it was like a very like a similar experience. I don't know him, so I cannot say. So probably if some of you are fans of him and can give me some feedback about him and probably other aspects that you had observed about him, I would love to hear from you guys. I love it. So let's start with the archetypes that he got. He got the archetype of the father, the beggar, the chameleon, and the detective. And then, from the Oracle of Romantic Angels, he got the card of Set Yourself Free. So, yes, it's really interesting. I want to share something with you before I start. I don't want to prolong this intro, but I actually did record a previous the same reading. I did record it once before, but I swear I had to stop because I was like constantly coughing and I was like clearing my throat while I was describing this spread. So I had to start over. Now I have like a coffee here next to me. So if I feel like I'm going to choke, like I have something to drink. And I think that this is very meaningful when it comes to reading for Sehun's energy. I think that probably romance and his private matters and everything that has to do with how he really feels inside or what he really finds ideal, it's somehow like a very hidden secret, and it probably is something that he doesn't like to share with others. So this is, I perceive that maybe this is why I was joking, like I was like coughing and like I couldn't it's like I cleared my throat once and then I started all over again. And I believe that this is going to happen also here. But I wanted to take this experience to actually allow you to imagine or get close to what I'm experiencing as a tarot reader. That sometimes it's not that I just read the cards that are on the table and that I just read whatever is on on the card, like sometimes a lot of readers do this, but for me it's more like a channeling. Like I come into the reading with zero expectations or preconceptions about the artist or the celebrity or whoever it is, and I just allow myself to get like soaked into their energy. And I think that it's really interesting for me to share this with you, because maybe if you know him or if you consumed his content and you know a bit about him, probably you can be like, oh, maybe this is also my perception of him. Maybe it happens the same with you. So I would love to hear from you, and I'm sharing this because I think that it's also interesting for me if there's some of the people that watches my video that actually is getting into tarot reading or getting an oracle for themselves and starting to read tarot, that sometimes you do get moments like this, that the experience is very complex. It's very uh, it's very transforming at the same time. It allows you to see the energy from other point of view. It doesn't matter if you know their birth signs, the birth chart. It doesn't matter all the data that you have accumulated. When you're reading for them, you get something else. So let's take this very private Sehun star reading and let's move on. So starting off with the father archetype, I definitely can sense that if he is attracted to a female, the female can also have father archetype. And it means that the father archetype, it talks about someone in power, someone that is responsible for others, someone that probably is like a leader in their team, or someone that is in a higher position, so they have to take care of other people's needs. Is like the head of an institution. So I think that what he finds ideal is, at least in a first impression, is someone that looks powerful, or someone that looks like they have everything under control. So probably what he does find attractive is this kind of person that has some control over their lives or their careers or their circumstances. Probably someone that has like a lot of like leadership skills, someone that has their own business, or it's like a CEO or something like that, someone with the status, I would say. I think that he admires that. Probably he wants also to become that father figure or this archetype in the future. So I think that he is somehow like attracted to people in power. Nevertheless, you know that sometimes people in power, they play that role on society, or they play that role on the outside world, but being in power, it doesn't mean that you don't have issues or that you don't have insecurities, you know. Also, the father archetype, it's it probably could mean someone that is like an old soul, you know, someone that probably had been working for a long time, or had been like the mature one in their family for a very long time. So probably he does find that kind of someone very like very educated, you know, someone that is very professional. He finds that very alluring. He finds that very admirable and ideal, at least in the first impression. And I say this because the father archetype is the first card. So for me, I would take it, since the other archetypes are really different from this energy. I take that he is showing me that this is the first impression he wants to have. And then if we dive deeper, we have the archetype of the beggar. So I think that it doesn't matter how successful or powerful this person is. I think that for Sehun, in intimacy, he wants someone that can be like humble enough to be like, to be searching for his validation in the relationship. The beggar archetype is an archetype that often talks about someone that needs of other people's approval. You know, that they need the other person to validate them in order to make like important decisions in their lives. So probably what he's telling me here is that it doesn't matter how powerful this or influential this person is in the outside world. He wants that in intimacy, or in when they are together, that he wants this partner to be considerate of him, in the sense that if this person has to make like decisions that involves the two of them, he wants this person to be humble enough, or to be loving enough, or to be uh, uh, respectful enough to be like, I want to know how you feel, or I'm going to do this, like I want to consider it, what do you think about this that I'm going to do. He wants to feel included in the important decisions of his partner's life. He doesn't want to feel like, oh, because you think that you are in a role of where you are a leader to others, you would think that because you are in a relationship with me, you are the leader of the relationship. And I think that Sehun, he doesn't want someone to dominate him. You know, someone that takes this role into their intimacy. You know, because sometimes this happens with people in power. And this also happens, this power imbalance, this also happens with famous people. I think that what he wants is this person to be sensitive enough to be like, I know I can do a lot of things on myself, and I am super efficient, and I'm like so assertive in my career and stuff, and I'm really strong and independent, but nevertheless I choose you in intimacy, and I want to hear from you. I want to include you in my plans. I want to be sensitive and considerate enough to ask you. I wouldn't say to ask for his permission, but somehow it would be someone that would consider that his point of view is very important because this person does care for him. At least this is how he views it. And then we have the card of the chameleon. So yes, this is where things start to change a bit. I think that actually what he finds attractive is someone that is very different from what other people perceive them on the outside. And the chameleon is also someone that can be really playful with their energy, in the sense that they can like turn into anything that they think that they would seduce their partner. I think that when we think about the chameleon in a relationship or in a romantic bond, I think that what he finds attractive is this kind of shapeshifter element in the relationship. This kind of like this person to be able to transform into a different character when they are together, in order to surprise him a bit, and to seduce him and to be a bit playful. I don't know, to play some, to do some role play in the relationship. I think that he finds that very amusing, and actually he wants to maintain this kind of synergy or this kind of dynamic in the relationship, where actually the lines are very blurred between who has the power. I think that he actually finds that very attractive, when actually, when one day you think that he is in charge of the relationship, and actually in the next day things turn over, and actually the other partner is the one in the relationship, and they're always like fluctuating, and they're always like transforming their energy. They're always playing with each other, testing each other's limits at some point. But always in a very fun way, but in this very fun way, at the same time, they are keeping their energy alive. They are keeping their desire alive. They're transforming. They are not getting bored. Because I think that he could potentially get bored of someone if that person is very stuck in their old ways. So I think that he definitely wants someone that can have like an open mind, someone very flexible. And then the card of the detective, the archetype of the detective always reminds me of a Scorpio energy, because I think that Scorpio placements allows you actually to be that kind of detective, that when you are interested in someone, you become a detective. You do like a background check on that person for you, in order for you to feel safe and for you to trust that person. And because you're interested, and in that sense you can become a bit intense, and you want to know everything about that person. So I think that he wants someone that he finds it flattering when someone like invest that kind of uh, activity or that kind of willpower to get to know him. Probably what he's saying here is that it's really hard for people to get to know him or to get to the real him. So definitely he needs someone that has the willpower or has like the need to go deeper with him, to get to a very deep level. And that the detective archetype is also someone that is very secretive. So it's not someone that openly is going to ask you questions about your past or about your interest or about what you like and what you don't like. No, they're going to do this in a very like sneaky almost way, where you are not realizing that you are under investigation, but I think that he finds that like, I think that the reading that I did yesterday, it had the same archetype, and I think that I can understand why the detective archetype is here, because when someone does this very intense and this very demanding effort to get to know you deeper and to get to know what you like, what you don't like, where you come from, why are you like this, is because they're showing you that they care. And the way that they show you that they care is probably like paying really hard attention on what you do and what you say, and trying to go deeper. I think that he actually wants that. He wants someone that can be that observant and not intrusive, not like, oh, I'm going to do like some quest, and I'm going to ask you a few questions about yourself. Not like that, like someone that can be really smooth in that sense, that can like get information without you even realizing that they are getting it. So I think that he finds that very attractive. And then the last card, that is the card from the Oracle of Romantic Angels, is the card of Set Yourself Free. So I think that this card is very meaningful when it comes to actually idols carrying this oracle. I think that it definitely is talking about how he must allow himself to be free in relationships. I think that there's something about his nature that he is a bit like too rigid sometimes, especially energetic. Like I mentioned before, reading for him in the first time I tried to record this, it wasn't easy because I was choking on my words, because I felt like I was going to die, like, because I was coughing like something was wrong with me, and actually I'm okay. I do not have allergies or anything like that. I'm okay. Um, but I think that it definitely is showing me that there's something about himself that he doesn't want to reveal to others. There's like this need of him to remain in this certain kind of box where he doesn't allow himself to get out and play, get out and have fun. Because if you see this card, the card of the Oracle of Set Yourself Free, it's basically like some like there's like I believe it's a unicorn that is like inside like a barrier, and that he is like almost like prison, like a prisoner of these barriers that he cannot get out of. And you look at the immense nature that he has around him, that he could have the potential of like running through a larger and then through a more beautiful landscape, and nevertheless he's like stuck in there. And I think that Set Yourself Free is also a card that is like telling him that actually it doesn't matter if he finds the ideal romantic partner or not, that these experiences about love are going to let him show him and allow him to let his guards down. There's something about his social interactions that can seem a bit robotic sometimes. It's like he seems like he's not that interested, or he seems like he's unbothered, and sometimes he does have these very strong emotions, and he's a very passionate man, but somehow there's something that doesn't allow him to be as passionate as he would like to. Probably he's very distrustful at the same time. Is he an only child? There's something about him like being an only child, or being, I know he's the magnet of EXO. So there's something about him being special, and there's something about him being treated as special his whole life, almost like a prince, being keeping like in a box. This is why I see the card Set Yourself Free. It's like set yourself free from other people's expectation. It's like you can be free in relationships, and don't let anyone in that kind of intimacy to put you in a box. If you encounter a partner or someone that tries to change you and fit you into whatever they want you to be, it's like don't let them. Just fight for your independency. Fight for your autonomy. I think that there's something about also that I want to like, because I'm getting this here. I think that Sehun is someone that has been approached and has been like that a lot of females, especially Nunas, like the older than him, had been really interested in him, and they made their advances on him. And somehow he's not interested. He never was interested, actually. And there's something about him like thinking, oh, maybe there's something wrong with me, because like I should be a man, I should take opportunities as they come. But there's something about him that he's like, no, I don't like that person. He doesn't want to be someone's marionette. He doesn't want to be someone's puppet. He wants to be himself. So this is why the card of set yourself free is here. And at the same time, like, I understand why he's keeping himself inside those barriers. He's protecting himself. Because sometimes, we often talk about how sometimes females, idols, or females in general in the work industry are being harassed because they are pretty or because they are beautiful, and they are like, they get unwanted attention. But it also can happen to young males. And I think that in the case of Sehun, he's very attractive. He has like, I believe that he has like a lot of suitors, like a lot of women interested in him. And he feels awkward about it. He just doesn't want to be seen that way, like an object. So this is why I think that he protects himself so much. And this is why he acts like he doesn't care, or he acts like he doesn't want to be there, because he's like unconsciously he's protecting himself. So I don't know. Let's reflect on this matter as well, because I think that harassment is not only for females; it can happen to males, especially the youngest ones. So yes, guys, this is all I have for Sehum. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I would love to hear your feedback if you have it. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much to the person that recommended this to me. I hope that you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.